close down a few things here.
There we go. We're live. Hello, hello. Welcome to what are we talking about today? We're going to talk about clean eating. Welcome to the Clean Eating Show. We need to name this, Renee. Look at me in my improv. She's like, what? We have a Katrina and Renee show. Your health experts, the Healthy Hub experts. Okay, so we're going to talk about clean eating. I know it's such a buzzword and everyone talks about it. And it's actually something that I got into when I first became a coach. I did my life coaching way back when. And then I got my basics in nutrition. So I'm not a nutritionist, but I definitely have a buttload of education in nutrition. And the very first certificate I got was Natural Health Fundamentals. And so that talked a lot about clean eating. And I was like, okay, this is a thing, because it used to just be a buzzword. We're rewinding like 10 years ago. Okay. And it's, kind of stood the test of time. And people still say, go back to your basics, clean eating, clean eating. I'm like, well, what is that? Not to be confused with raw eating. We're talking about clean eating. So clean eating is basically eating whole food. Well, what is a whole food, Katrina? Whole food is an unprocessed food. Now, I guess if you were to hard boil an egg, would that be a processed egg? It's still totally fine to eat a hard boiled eggs, for the record. But so we want to talk to you about clean eating. We're going to talk to you about, I'm going to go over a magic plate. Renee has a plethora of information to talk about. What are we talking about? Ingredient labels, because that is key to knowing what you're putting inside your body, nourishing your body, and how to do that the right way. And of course, we're going to talk about sugar and all the hidden sugars. And I also want to talk about misconceptions, because marketing is awesome. Hi, Debbie. Okay, yay, you're watching. Here comes the comments. Thank you for being here on a Saturday afternoon. Mwah. So happy you're here with us. So I do want to kind of finish with a little bit of the misconceptions of what people think is healthy, but actually isn't healthy. And that's where the marketing comes in. You see all the dancing women and they're like, I feel great as I'm eating this chemical sugar packed full of whatever processed food that they're putting into their bodies. So we're going to debunk a couple of those myths, but I'm going to hand the microphone over to Renee. Here we go.
Awesome. Well, I don't have a plethora of information. It probably would take me like 30 seconds to go through it. But, Katrina mentioned a little bit what is cleaning. And the way I think of it is, clean eating is all about making wiser choices about the food you eat. So you really want to understand what you're putting into your body. So you want to eat real food and you want to eat for nourishment. You want to make sure what you're putting in your body actually nourishes your body. So, and you want to watch for those additives that your body doesn't need, like sugar and artificial ingredients and things like that. So that's kind of my general idea of clean eating. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's just a matter of watching what you put into your body and making sure it's real food. So if you are looking into, wanting to be better at clean eating, then be a food detective.
Sugar, yeah.
If there's a couple of rules that I can list, when you're doing this. If you can't pronounce it, then don't eat it. If it's not recognized in nature, then don't eat it. And you do want to look for those hidden and unhidden sugars. And most sugars, or most ingredients ending with OSE, that's sugar right there. And I know Katrina has a list of names for sugar that you can find on labels, and it's a huge list. It's not something we're probably going to list out here in the live, but we can.
No, I think I'll put it as a handout under the file section. I have a giant list of hidden sugars, like foods that have hidden sugars. And then I also have a list of the different names for sugars, which I think just people need to become more aware of, is when you see this ingredient on your food label. And also if the food is like, if that ingredient is within the first top 3 of your ingredients, it's the most. So if you see dextrose or glucose or sucrose or I don't know, what are some of the other sugary names? Glucose, fructose is a big one. Aurora is like super
Dextrose.
trained.
Yeah.
As soon as she
Yeah.
sees glucose, fructose, she knows I will not buy it, and it goes right back on the shelf. But the top three ingredients, the first three ingredients, is what that food has most of, along with other chemicals. Sorry, I
Yeah.
had to just
No,
reiterate that.
that's quite all right, and that's a good idea. So you also, and I think Katrina posted this in the group earlier this week, is check out the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 from the Environmental Working Group. They always update that website, and it's a good list to look at. So, and those are mainly, the dirty list are things that, it's not that you can't eat them. It's just that you probably want to choose organic when you're looking at the things on the dirty list because they just have more pesticides. And those pesticides may not be easily washed off just by rinsing underwater. So you want to really be careful. On the clean 15, you don't have to eat organic. And I should say this too, when it comes to organic versus non-organic, you can go hog wild and go crazy and buy everything organic, but a lot of us, the everyday people, can't afford it these days, especially with grocery prices going up. It's insane how things are increasing, how
Yeah.
prices are increasing. So, do what you're comfortable with. If you can't buy grass-fed beef, then don't buy grass-fed beef if you can't afford it. But if you can, it's always better to buy the best you can afford. Um, I do like to say another mantra of mine is you are what you eat eats. So if you're eating beef, then just think about that cow and what that cow consumed, because whatever that cow consumed will get into your body through the meat, right? Through the beef. Same with the pigs or whatever, or the chicken. So, you always want to just remember, whatever they're fed is really going to get into your body as well. And then you also want to try to avoid those genetically modified foods. Corn is a huge one, right? I think pretty much all corn now is genetically modified. It's crazy what they can do with food these days. It's crazy. So I don't really want to get into details, like, because we can go on a whole nother subject of the GMO stuff, but there's lots of documentaries out there too about it. But it's just one of those things that if you can avoid it, avoid it. Um, and then last but not least, I always like to call out alcohol. Now, Katrina and I, you guys know, we like our wine and other spirits as well. But there's an interesting stat that I had read, and it kind of stuck with me. So, alcohol, when you consume it, it slows down your metabolism. So when you consume one drink, basically your fat burning furnace is basically turned off for about 6 to 8 hours while your liver tries to process the alcohol that's in your body, because it takes a long time to process alcohol, and your liver is the only organ in your body that processes alcohol. It doesn't get processed by any other organ in your body. So
I was just commenting to Renee yesterday. I was saying, I sometimes I like to have a glass of wine while I'm making dinner, and that's usually around 4 o'clock. And if I just have like one glass of wine while I'm making dinner and then I don't drink for the rest of the night, I consume that glass of wine at 4. And then at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm waking up, I'm hot, I'm kicking all of the blankets off, and sometimes I have insomnia. And she's like, well, duh. Because of the Chinese, what is it? The Chinese algorithm of your
the
body.
Chinese
So,
body clock, yeah, your body clock through Chinese medicine, yeah,
yes, so our
yeah.
livers are doing the most work between 1 and 3 a.m. So if you're waking up with alcohol, sugar, sweats, it's because your body is trying to filter it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I noticed as I get older, it affects me more, alcohol. Like I can
Yeah.
have, a glass or two of wine and I know it will affect my sleep. And it's frustrating because I like my wine, who doesn't? But it's just like, when I'm drinking it, do I, it's, you kind of weigh. weigh it out. Okay, do I want to have a good night's sleep, or do I really want that glass of wine? So
That's what it comes down to the older we get, eh?
yeah. Yeah. So basically, even if you have one drink, and then it takes 6 to 8 hours for your body to process, so your body's going to focus on getting that alcohol because it considers it a toxin. It's going to, take that 6 to 8 hours to process. And that's 6 to 8 hours that you are not processing other things. You're not burning fat, you're not doing other things, or it's reduced, I should say. You probably is doing some things, but you can reduce your metabolism by up to 33% just by doing that. So I found that an interesting stat, and it kind of stuck with me. And, also when you drink, I mean, you kind of gravitate towards unhealthy food. That's where you go for the Doritos and stuff. Um,
Oh, someone says she doesn't do any alcohol. Well, that's good. That's
that's really
good.
good. Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
want cereal whenever I have a glass of wine before bed. I'm
Really?
like, oh, cereal. Yeah, it's the only time I ever crave cereal is like after, like sometimes, not all the time, but yeah,
Huh.
cereal. Anyways,
Wow.
well, good. And if you're not drinking alcohol, then fabulous. So
Yep.
you're already one step ahead of the game there.
Yep. So that's pretty much it. I'll pass it back to you because I know you have a lot to talk about as well.
Always. So, okay, I just like to go over the basic clean eating. Your fruits and your vegetables. If you do have any kind of a thyroid issue, or if you do suffer from digestive issues, then lightly cooked vegetables will digest better than raw vegetables, just to kind of help, prevent the gas or bloating, things like that. And also people with, I don't know, I've worked with some people who have certain digestive issues. So lightly cooked vegetables will help, and that's fine. It's not altering the nutritional value of your vegetable if you can't have it raw. So I don't want people to misconstrue clean eating with raw, right? So we can have, and then like, your meats, if you're having burgers or steaks or chicken or whatever, the only thing you got to be aware of is your sauce. Okay. So there are some really good sauces out there. I know Stubbs is actually, it's Stubbs. That's actually a really good barbecue sauce, low ingredients. Like I don't think there's very bad ingredients. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember comparing like I will do that. I am that person that stands in the grocery aisle and I will pick up everything and read the ingredients and then buy the best one. So it takes me quite a while to do my grocery shopping if I can't find the brands that I trust, to put into my body. So condiments and sauces are huge. If you're slathering your salads or your meats, to go in the barbecue or to go in the air fryer with a whole bunch of sauce, sweetie, that's not clean eating. And it's better to get into like, do a rub, get your rub-a-dub-dub on, find some good spices, some good herbs. You got to be careful of the spices because they do have a high sodium content, but Mrs. Dash and Epicure, like those are some really good brands that you can go into to flavor up your food. I don't know. I love garlic and onions and ginger. Like I will flavor everything with that little bit of fresh dill, and go into your fresh herbs too at the grocery store. You can do your basil and your thyme and kind of, go to town with those. So those are just a couple key things to help spice up the food, make it a little more flavorful. And then, what else? Okay. So then, if you're on the go, like, let's talk about the quick foods, right? Like what is going to be okay to eat? So trying to stay as clean as possible, like crackers are processed, but crackers and cheese are a great snack, to grab and go. So can we change that up? Well, I would recommend almonds and cheese strings, or almonds and apples, just kind of having the nuts with the fruit, or the nuts with, I know cheese is processed. So if you can limit your cheese intake, because we don't want to go all to town, pigging out on the dairy. Dairy is processed food. And this is one of the modifications that I want to talk to, or misconceptions that I want to bring to everyone's attention, is a lot of people think granola bars, yogurt, cereal, protein shakes, protein bars, and juice is healthy. It is not. There is a lot of sugar in a lot of yogurt brands. So you need to, buy plain yogurt. But even so, read your labels, because there are better brands out there. Now, I know that there's people all over the province and different countries that will be watching this. Everyone on hashtag replay. So I don't have any brand to recommend to you, because even Renee and I were talking about the type of yogurt that she can get and the type of yogurt that I can get. And I'm like, oh, I've never heard of that before. So just if you're smart and you can read your labels, you want to go for the less ingredients as possible, right? Granola bars, make your own. Granola bars are packed full of crap. Most cereal is packed full of crap. When I say crap, I'm referring to a whole bunch of chemicals. So the ingredients to look out for, there's maltodextrin. I don't know if I said that right, but that is a high processed carbohydrate that is put in to increase the longevity of your food. And it's really bad, causes, havoc in your system, diabetes, cancer. Monosodium glutamate is MSG. Oh my God, that stuff is horrible. That is like cancer causing, diabetes causing, heart disease causing, causing all of those awesome diseases. What else do we have? Oh, made from concentrate. If you guys are buying juice that says made from concentrate, you are buying artificially flavored juice, and you're just buying a whole bunch of flavored sugar. So you want to choose juice that says not from concentrate. And it's right on the label. It's very simple. So made from concentrate, like a lot of juices in a box, those are all, it's just flavored sugar.
Yeah.
What's another one?
Can I say one thing about the juice?
Yes.
Just be careful about the amount of juice you drink. Even if it's, 100% pure, like apple juice or whatever, you tend to, when you compare it to eating an apple, I mean, how much juice is in one apple versus how much is in a glass of juice? Like, how many apples would it take to make that glass? So just be careful about the amount of juice you eat, because that still is a natural sugar, and it could, throw your blood sugar levels out of whack if you have way too much, even natural sugar. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, good. And I also wanted to, sodium bicarbonate is baking soda, if you didn't know that. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That's okay. That's fine to have. But all we really want to stress is that if you are grabbing foods, that are processed, be like Renee said, become a food detective and learn your labels. Less is best. So I always, when I'm coaching people, and if I have a client that says to me, oh my God, I love potato chips, I'm not giving up my potato chips, like hardcore, love my salt, I'll say, okay, no problem. You don't have to give up your potato chips, but can we just switch it to Lay's? And I recommend the Lay's brand, plain, because if you look at Lay's, the only ingredients is potatoes, oil, and salt. So if you're going to eat potato chips, I'm not saying you have to cut out everything. I'm just saying the more whole foods, the more clean eating you do for your body, it allows your organs to clean your body, for your immune system to build up so that we have that protection over us. And it's just general health. And like Renee said at the beginning there, we want to make sure that you're eating to nourish your body, because food has functions for our body. So clean eating helps all of the functions of your body process properly. And it gets very clogged up when we're eating processed foods and when we're eating the alcohol, drinking the alcohol. So I am going to put a huge list of names, like different names for sugar in the file section. And then I'm going to also I have this list of foods that have sugar. When I first looked at this list, I got incredibly overwhelmed. So I don't want you to freak out. It is very intense. But it is good to know that many foods do contain a lot of sugar. And again, if you're reading your labels and finding your go-to brands, that it's not going to be so bad, and not all foods are like that. And this was given to us in our school. So it's a pretty, I didn't make it up. It's not like I went, grocery shopping and was like, oh, there's a sugar content in here. So it is like a valid piece of information. But I do want to share really quickly my magic plate. And if you've ever had any coaching with me, you're already familiar with this, but I'm hoping that I can share the screen, and it's not going to go all wonky because it kind of went really wonky last time I tried this. Oh, and it's going all wonky. Balls. So this is the list of the names of sugars for labels. This is just the different names. Let's see if I can flip back. Here we go. So the magic plate. So this is something that if you're working with a health coach, we're going to recommend creating your dinner. All right. So you have 1/3 of green vegetables that can be asparagus, broccoli, your leafy greens, and then 1/3 high quality protein. That would be your lean beef, chicken, fish, turkey. And then your 1/3 nutrient dense starchy vegetable or carb, it's supposed to say, or carbohydrate. So your whole carbohydrates, I mean, that can be absolutely can be potato, but I'm not talking about potato mixed with butter and sour cream and all of the fixings, potato, sweet potato, rice. There's absolutely nothing wrong with rice. And there's nothing wrong with white rice. If you're moving, if you're just eating white rice and you're not actually doing any kind of exercise, then it's going to take a little bit longer for your body to process because the white rice does convert into sugar right away. But if you've just done a training session or if you've gone for a run or if you've had a very active day, then a rice bowl or, sushi would be perfectly fine as a replenishment meal. And then we have our 1 to 3 tablespoons of high quality fats. I'm just noticing how the words are not coming up and I don't know why. So that's supposed to say high quality fat. And so that would be your olive oil, coconut oil, avocado, even olives, as your whole foods there. Oh, and there's just one more thing. How do I stop sharing this? That I wanted to mention. Canned foods. So if you are stuck because the cost of groceries are going ridiculously high and you're like, okay, I am not buying organic. And I actually have been to the grocery store a couple times and I'm like, oh my God, like there's no broccoli or there's no cauliflower, there's no vegetables. So go frozen. If you can't buy fresh, then frozen is the next step before you go to canned, because canned food is usually put into a chemical solution to preserve the longevity of your vegetables. So if you buy canned vegetables and you want to change your health, stop. Frozen or fresh? Fresh is best, or frozen. And I think that's all that I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So
I
have fun
think
being a
too.
food detective.
Yeah, and I think too you should try to eat within your season as well. You'll get more nutrients that way out of your fresh fruits and vegetables as well. I mean, who
Yes.
here has tried to eat a tomato in the winter? Man, that's nasty. Taste it
Farmers
all.
markets. If you can hit up your farmers markets, I mean, that is best, right? I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about local honey. If you want to kill your allergies, eat local honey, but not pasteurized. So you want to buy a local unpasteurized honey that will help build up the immunity against the allergies, like of all the pollen that's in the air, because your local bees are making that honey. So the more you're ingesting that, your body has a better chance of fighting all of the allergies off, the pollen and the fluff in the air and stuff. And then, well, of course, just if you can get to your farmer's market where you're eating the purest, hopefully the purest version of food, and maybe you can find your dirty dozen at the farmer's market and you're set there already. So yeah. So that was our little talk on clean eating, just kind of deciphering exactly what it is, helping you to become a food detective, reading your labels, and then creating your magic plate. So if you guys have any questions, just make some comments below and we'll answer them. And in the meantime, once I've uploaded the handouts into the guides or files, I'll let you guys know. So have a great afternoon. Thanks for watching.
Bye.